All right, good afternoon. First, so obviously you guys know about Quincy and Marcelino, right? Those guys will be out for a while. When the guys that are week to week, Jermaine and Jarvis Brownlee, corner we picked up, those guys will be week to week. All right, so we're still evaluating that. When talk about the guys that will be back, so Kane, Josh, Tony Adams, and Jay Tefeli, those guys will be practicing today. And Justin will be practicing, but he's still going through the protocol. All right, so we have to make sure that's clear, and we'll be fine, but he'll be practicing today. All right, when it comes to Miami, listen, this opponent is, I'll say when you look at them offensively, very, very explosive, speed, a ton of space players. A quarterback, as I can remember, I think, 2 years ago, I think he led the league in passing. Man, you have a running back that can get it and go at any given time. I've always said the same thing about these receivers. So we have to be on top of our game when it comes to how those guys operate on offense. When it comes to their defense, they have a couple of players that are very prideful players. Chubb, Seiler, those guys are gonna fight to the end. So we're in a dogfight, gentlemen and women, and we have to make sure that the mindset is right, which the mindset will be right. And this starts today in practice. It actually started in meetings, going through the day in practice, going to the end of the week, that we have one focus in mind. That's to go down to Miami and go get a win. And we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to it. So, again, I like exactly where we're at as far as the mentality of our team. We still have a ways to go when it comes to things that we got to improve on. And we're going to do that on a daily basis. But our guys are excited. And our guys are right where they need to be mentally, and we're looking forward to this. So, any questions?
With Justin, I understand the quarterback is always non-contact, but
yeah.
The second protocol is a non-contact practice. Would that be what he's doing today?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So, again, he still has to go through the whole protocol before he's totally cleared. But I like where he's at.
Well, if he's clear, I know we've asked this before. If he's cleared, is he your starter?
If he's cleared, he's starter.
What went into the trade for Brown?
Anytime, and I give a lot of credit to Mooj and the staff, anytime there's an opportunity to improve your team, you have to take a look at it. Sometimes those things go through. When it comes to actually getting the deal just right, sometimes those things go away because of that. But anytime you can get a player you think that can improve your team, you try to strike the deal as quick as you can to get the guy on your team. So he was a guy that we looked at coming out of Louisville, and he was aggressive. He's a hard worker, plays a brand of football that we believe in, and so it was a no-brainer as far as bringing him on my team. It's the same way as with Mark Robinson too. Getting a chance to go and pick him up. He plays our brand of football, so we're excited about those guys. Ben Nemo was the guy that was with me in Detroit, so I know exactly what he brings to the table. So all three of those guys we're excited to have. And we're going to get those guys implemented to what we're doing, and they're going to help us win.
Brownlee's been mostly an outside guy, but can he play?
He can. He actually did that while he was in Tennessee. And he played on special teams quite a bit. So when he gets a chance to get on the field with us, we have a plan in place for him. And again, he's a guy we're excited to have.
You mentioned the linebacker, and the other guy, but what do you say about the guy that
Well, Kiko was the guy that we drafted, as you guys know, and he's been doing a really good job for us, especially on the special team side. And he has to grow up quick, and he's been growing up quick for us, and he's been playing a good amount of ball for us on the defensive side as our linebacker. So he's going to come in, he's going to get a chance to play. And I talked before about Cam, the guy we picked up before, that he was going to help us at some point. And it just so happened with these two injuries, he's going to be able to help us. So. Listen, we're not going to lose those guys when it comes to special team, but their role is going to actually expand when it comes to playing on defense.
You are well versed in the Jets-Falcons rivalry going back like 3 decades.
Yeah.
And you played in 2 of the iconic games.
Yeah.
The Monday Nighter, of course, and then the Face Fight.
Yeah.
Share your recollections of those. You were directly involved.
Well, you have to remember this. I'm a corner, so I forget. A lot, but no, that the first one I'll go with my rookie year, the fake spike. I can just remember talking to Ronnie a lot, and I think we had a couple of D linemen that was down on a knee because we thought it was about to happen, and it just so happened like I saw something that just wasn't right, And I just remember trying to run out there to go cover. I think it was Mark Ingram, to try to defend the play. And listen, they did a really good job of getting us on that play, and so they scored. And, man, I think you're talking about the Monday Night Miracle. Yeah, that was an outstanding game. Just when everybody thinks that the game is over with. And that's one thing that we talked to our team about, just believe that no matter what the situation is, you can always come back and win the game. And that was one of those situations where everybody thought we were out of the game. And just to make a long story short, our guys fought to the very end. And that's what you want as a team, to be able to see your guys fight like that and be able to give yourself a chance. And we gave ourselves a chance and ended up pulling that one out. It's very similar to what we did this past week against Tampa by giving ourselves a chance. And that's what I'm so proud of about this team. And if you have the ability to be able to do that, man, you're headed in the right direction. And that's why I make the statement, man, that these guys are not the same old Jets. All right, these guys are a bunch of guys that want to win. They're starting to understand exactly how to win. We just have to do a better job of getting over that hump and winning these games. And I know as we continue to progress during the season, those guys will do a good job of that.
And whether it's timeout,
yeah.
What has to change? Because the last 2 games, you guys didn't get the end zone until the fourth quarter.
Yeah. What has to change? The first thing, we have to start fast. And another thing, what we talked about today, man, we have to have a high level of execution. And that's in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams. We have to run the ball better. Listen, I know we was going against 3 really good teams, the past teams that we played. But that doesn't matter to me. I have an expectation of this team on how we operate, and I'm not going to stand down from that. And our guys won't stand down from that. And they know for a fact that we have to improve in those areas. We have to get our running game going, which opens up our passing game. We all know that. And we want to make sure we execute at a high level in all 3 phases.
What are you seeing in your running game right now? It's not clicking the last 2 weeks.
Well, when you go to our first week, running game was clicking. You go to the second week, man, we got a lot of source to where, man, we have to end up throwing the ball quite a bit. Go this week, we play against probably one of the best run defenses in the league. So I don't want to sit here and say that our run game doesn't work at all. So I don't believe in that at all. It's just the fact of what happened within those games that made us have to do something different. So listen, every team has a hard time running against Tampa, but we're not getting away from who we think we are as far as a team. I know for a fact, as this year progresses, our guys will show exactly who they are.
Garrett Wilson's target has a very high target share.
Yep.
Really, really one of the highest in the league. I guess that could be a good thing because he's such a good player.
Yep.
Or it could be a bad thing because you want to try to spread the ball around.
Yep.
How do you look at it as a coach? Does it need to be more balanced, or is that okay?
Well, the fact of the matter is we try to make sure we spread the ball around, but when you have a player of that caliber, you try to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. We've talked about that since, the beginning of training camp, that was always a plan. But we have other players also that can make plays, and you're absolutely right. We want to make sure that we end up getting the ball to different guys, but we want to make sure that Garrett gets his touches too, because, he's very electric, when he gets the ball in his hand. So we try to do it as much as we can, but we want to make sure, as an offense, that we start to script our plays to make sure, like, certain guys get the ball. We got to get Mason the ball. We got to get Brees the ball. Those guys are good playmakers for us, and we're doing everything we can to make sure we do that.
Couple more. What did Kazarian got his most successful time on the Sox went out the other day?
Say it one more time.
Kazarian Thomas, he played half.
Yeah. Well, it was a really small sample, but when it comes to watching him in practice, nothing changed what I thought of him coming out of the draft. He's a big corner. He does a really good job in press coverage. He can run. He has game speed. When he runs a 40, it's not the speed that everybody wants, but he has game speed, which is 2 different types of speed, and that's what I look for more than anything. So anytime he gets a chance to play in the game, it's only going to help us, because he's going to help us quite a bit at some point.
Last week, Mason, he was a little more involved this last game.
Yeah.
What do you see from him as he goes through this game?
To do everything we can to try to get him more involved. I mean, he's a dynamic player for us, and when the ball gets in his hands, even when the ball's not in his hands, he's make plays as far as penalties are concerned. I think he drove 2 penalties last week. But he's a guy that we all recognize needs to get the ball. He needs to get it. Brees needs to get it. Those guys are playmakers for us. We got to do everything we can to put in their hands.
Costello, last one.
What's it like to be an internet celebrity celebrity for your dance moves?
What is that?
What's it like to be an internet celebrity for your dance moves? I wonder, do your kids show you the videos of you dancing after?
You know what they did. Here's what I do know, and that's why I'm gonna always be me. And listen, these guys need someone that's going to show they believe in them, and that's going to show they're proud of when they make plays. And I tell you what, I thought if I probably didn't do that, my wife and kids would have said, "Man, what's happening? You know, what's going on with you?" And I'm glad that I'm gonna never be fake. I'm gonna always be me. Some people like, some people don't. It doesn't matter, you know. But I'm glad that, you know, people get to see me, my authentic self, no matter what. And I don't know what it means, because someone said, "Well, do a head coach supposed to act like that?" How does a head coach supposed to act? You know, I don't know, but it was good. It was good.